client of mine recently shared with me that she'd had the best month ever for inquiries. So she generated 87 inbound conversations in that 28-day period. And the revenue that month? Well, it was actually down 20% compared to the previous month. And she asked me, "Will, I don't understand. I'm talking to more people than ever before. What is the issue?" And my response to her was that talking to more people is why your business is taking a hit. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to tell the difference between a buyer and a browser before you invest a ton of time into closing them. And then I'm going to share a simple selling system that forces the wrong prospects to filter themselves out of your pipeline. Now, here's what most business owners who sell a service to other businesses tend to get wrong about lead generation. They think that it is a volume problem. They tell themselves that if they generate more conversations, the numbers are going to work themselves out. And if you've got very few leads, this isn't a bad strategy. But past a certain threshold of leads, that's just not how it works. More conversations with the wrong people just means more hours wasted each week for a bunch of follow-up and proposals that are never going to go anywhere. So the problem isn't that you need more leads. The problem is that you've got no filter between a potential customer expressing interest in your service and then you unequivocally giving them your time. Having trained thousands of salespeople in my B2B sales consultancy over at salesman.com, I can tell you that any serious sales organization, and these are typically enterprise and large companies, right? But any serious sales organization has an entire role dedicated just to this qualification process. They're called the Sales Development Representative, or the SDR. And the SDR is a member of the sales team that sits between marketing and the closer, and their job is to generate meetings from leads the marketing pulls in, and then to qualify the prospect before they get passed to a closer. And I don't mean that they qualify these prospects in. Their job is to qualify out as many of these leads as possible to protect the closer's time by making sure only genuine prospects get through. And this SDR role is designed to leverage what I call the Disqualification Paradox. And this is the fact that the more people that you disqualify, the more revenue you generate. Then because you've freed up a bunch of time from disqualifying prospects, you've now got more time to prospect the right people, and then this cycle continues over and over again. So here is the selling system that you need to implement to make the disqualification paradox work for your business. Step one is to clearly define your ideal customer persona, or otherwise known as your ICP. Because if you don't know who your best customers are, how are you going to find more of them? And it's dead simple, right? To define your ICP, just look at the past 6 months of customers and find the trends between the customers that have driven the most revenue with the least effort. Those trends are what make up your ICP. And what's crazy is, if you haven't been through this process already and started focusing your sales and marketing efforts towards a single ICP, then this step alone could double your revenue within a very, very short period of time. And then we have step two, which is to start getting intentional with your inbound and outbound communications. So rather than just doing a broad marketing post on LinkedIn, really narrow your focus and talk directly to your ICP so that you disqualify anyone who isn't a good fit. And if you're doing cold email, copy what I've done in this video by calling out business owners who sell services to other businesses, and be highly intentional with the positioning of your pitch. Be specific with your communication, and you're going to cut off a whole bunch of terrible prospects before they even manage to get time in your calendar. And then we have step three, and this is to standardize the qualification criteria that you run through on your discovery calls. Do they have a level of urgency? Are they the decision maker? What is their time frame? Do they have a budget assigned to this project already? That is absolutely the very minimum that you need to ascertain from your discovery calls if you want to consider a prospect as qualified to continue running through their buyer's journey with you. And all of this needs to be documented down. It needs to be out of your head, and it needs to be turned into a standard operating procedure if you want to go through the process of professionalizing the sales function of your business and allowing the sales function of your business to drive a whole ton more revenue for you. And the best business owners that I've ever worked with, the owners whose companies give them the resources to live their best lives, well, they don't have to be slimy, gross, or manipulative when they're winning new business. Why not? Well, it's because they spend more time selling to the right people. And if you want to make more money whilst eliminating a lot of the stress of sales, then your sales pipeline probably doesn't need more leads, it needs fewer of the wrong ones. And if you want to start leveraging the disqualification paradox in your business, then click the link in the description to download the free guide that I put together for you. It walks you through this process step by step.